Hi guys, Keir Starmer and the UK seem to be one of the only countries left in the West that thinks it's a good idea to do a deal with Donald Trump's America. Canada is looking towards the EU is looking towards China, and other long-time allies are reconsidering their position with the United States. One of the issues touted a lot by Starmer is the importance of cooperation with the Trump administration in regards to security. Well, I hope the Prime Minister is watching this news.
Yeah, and if this all sounds sort of reminiscent of that scandal that engulfed the administration about a month ago, it should, because the Secretary of Defense, we are now learning, shared very similar details about the U.S. attack plans on the Houthi rebels in Yemen on a second signal group. And we understand that this included things like takeoff times for some of those fighter jets as they were preparing to strike those targets in Yemen. The big difference here is who comprised each of these signal groups, because remember that first time around that group was created by the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. It was intended to coordinate this attack with members of the cabinet officials who were in top national security positions in the administration, and he inadvertently included the journalist Jeffrey Goldberg. This new signal group that we are just learning about this evening included some members of Pete Hegseth's inner circle who are, it's not clear what reason they would have to have this information about the strikes that the U.S. was planning to carry out. It included his brother and his personal attorney. They both work at the Pentagon. It's not clear whether they have security clearances. It also included his wife, Jennifer, who has accompanied him previously in meetings with other foreign officials, which has raised some eyebrows among certain officials at the Pentagon. Now, as you mentioned, that original signal sort of snafu is now being investigated by the Inspector General at the Pentagon. It's not clear whether this latest revelation will be included in the review. The Pentagon officially has not commented on these latest revelations, which I should note were first reported by the New York Times. But this does punctuate a period of chaos inside the Pentagon and inside the inner circle of Pete Hegseth.
And there you have it. Okay. So the first time around, he shared information, similar to a WhatsApp group, a different type of software, but similar to a WhatsApp group, which included a journalist. And the journalist reported this to the media. The journalist couldn't believe that this information was being shared. He couldn't believe it to an extent that he didn't report it until the attack took place in Yemen, and it was a copy and paste of exactly what was appearing in that group chat. Then he reported it. And now we have the Defense Secretary sharing similar information with his brother and his wife and his lawyer. But his wife and his brother, one who works at the Department of Defense and the other who obviously does not. Now, as I said at the beginning, what does this mean for cooperation with the United States in regards to security? Where the defense, not some guy working in the Defense Department, not some idiot at a low level. This is the head of the department, the head. It's like the Minister for Defense in the UK sharing sensitive information with his family. This is beyond his... Now, the worst thing about this is that Donald Trump has not sacked this guy. At the moment of the recording of this guy is still in his position. Now, it's possible that Donald Trump will sack him in order to take some of the heat off him. But what does this say about cooperation with the United States and its so-called allies? How can you be an ally of the United States at the moment where the head of the government, that government department, is sharing sensitive information with family members? This is damaging the United States' reputation on the world stage, and it's also damaging its reputation with its allies. I would love to hear what Keir Starmer has to say about this. And the UK Defence Ministry. What are they going to say about this? Can you continue to share information with the US? Sensitive. This has the potential to put British lives in danger. What if the UK is going to engage in some sort of operation. And this information is shared with the United States because the United States is, at least at the moment, an ally or considered an ally. Maybe it's not an ally anymore. And this information is shared with family members of the Defense Secretary. And this information eventually gets out to people who should not have that information. Well, obviously, his family shouldn't have that information. This is beyond insane. It's like a tin pot dictatorship that Donald Trump is running, putting people in charge of departments who have no competence, allowing people who have no security clearance access to sensitive information. For what? And how can allies feel safe working with the United States at the moment? Because, as I said, it's going to put the lives of service people in the UK and other countries around the world that are working with the United States in danger.